Hello, you're listening to It Needs to Be Said, two sisters who like to keep it real. We might make you laugh and hopefully we make you think.
Hello, we're happy to be here, guys.
Hi.
Okay, today we are going to be talking about, look, I don't know what this episode's going to be titled, but so far the title is High Stakes Date Night Questionnaire, where Slomi and I are going to do like a rapid fire back and forth questions of what you could ask your spouse or boyfriend or partner on a date night, or like just girlfriends if you just want to have a laugh, because aren't we all tired for going out for dinner and, you know, you talk about the budget or the children we love so deeply or whatever, and just it's time to have a laugh. It's time to have a laugh. And so we've come up with these high stakes questions just designed to like make you think, bit of fun, get to know each other, and test how well you think your spouse or girlfriend knows you.
My coffee is here.
Okay, great. She's just arrived. I'm basically solo to that point. Before we get into that, I think I have a rebuke me.
Yes. Okay.
Well, you know what's annoying about the rebuke me segment is I already know what your answer is going to be. You
bring it up because you're like, I know I need to be rebuked. It should be confession time. That should be the segment.
Yeah. And it's also just like, I just want to tell you a little bit of a story.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So let me tell you a story.
I'm funny.
Okay, so last night we went to get dinner, and then we took our kids to the splash pad like after dinner, and they were just running around. I don't know if we took you to that splash pad, but it's a big splash pad. It's great. It's lots of fun. There's lots of kids out at the moment because it's so hot. So it was probably like 6 o'clock, and I'm sitting on a bench because subconsciously when we do things like that, I am not the parent that's going to play with you. Like, sorry.
Oh, really? Okay, nice.
I'm going to sit here. You, Neelis, you're the play parent. Off you go.
Absolutely.
So he's in the splash pad. Like, he's wet, soaked. He's in there. And
on the slide.
Exactly. And I say, like, I'm growing a baby. That's why I'm sitting here, you know?
Yeah, great excuse. You've milked that bad boy, especially now that you've got a belly. Like, sit there and look uncomfortable.
I'm going to put water on my brow to make it look like sweat.
Perfect.
Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting with one of the girls has come to just hang out with me. And the splash pad is a bike and pet free zone. Okay?
I like where this is going.
There are signs up on both of the entrances, bike and pet free zone. It's what it is.
It's clear.
You know. And especially where we live, it's a very big biking community. So there's like e-bikes and mountain bikes and road bikes and people just zooming through wherever, which is fine. And so, but it's a bike and pet free zone. And so I'm sitting like on the side, and these two, now I would call them hoodlums. I don't know what they're called in America, but hoodlums is the term I've gone for. These two hoodlums are riding their bikes, and the main hoodlum, let's call him, turns around to his friend and he's like, watch this. And so the guy behind him is like recording him on a phone. And he proceeds to do a wheelie throughout or maybe you call it a mobile, like where they're actually pedaling, but just on one wheel throughout the entire splash pad. Okay, love the reaction. Thank you. Thank you for your reaction.
Okay, I've obviously discussed it, but also how are you doing that? How does that? What is the physics required to do a trick like that?
I'm disgusted at you, but I'm also impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty impressive.
And it's like fair enough that he said, watch this. Like, yeah.
Exactly. So he does it throughout the whole splash pad. And like, there's not just my kids there. There's like little babies that are just sitting. It's like babies, toddlers, and then maybe up to like eight and under other kids. And so like instantly my reaction, I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, hey, no bikes. I just yell it out because they're already halfway through the splash pad by the time I can react. And then I see him like parading over there with all of his hoodlum friends, and the hoodlum girls come. Sorry, it's very judgmental of me, but it's just a vibe, okay?
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
vibe.
You are who you are.
Yeah. You chose this life, not me.
Yeah, now there's skateboarders involved, and they're jumping off the picnic tables and just like, you know, just carrying on. And so I'm just watching them, and I'm like, are they going to come back through the splash pad? Because once I could let it slide. I obviously didn't because I yelled something out at them, but that's fine. But then I see him like circling like the corner of the splash pad, and then he rides through the splash pad again.
And is there a fence around the splash pad?
No, there's like maybe like an unofficial fence, like of like bushes and flowers and stuff, but not, you know, not official.
But he knows he's in the splash pad zone.
100%. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
huge splash pad. Like, and there's so many
Yeah.
places that you can ride your bike around
Yes.
where we live. So anyway, then he's like circling, and then he comes back through the splash pad. And so now I'm standing up. I'm
Mhm.
standing up and I'm just walking towards him. And now I'm like speaking, but I'm speaking loudly. I'm just like, hey, this is a no bike free zone. You can't ride your bike here.
Mm.
And so then he goes, oh, no inglese, no inglese.
Oh, please.
And so that irritated me so much because I'm like, first of all, I've heard you speak English. So obviously, like, and so then I just said, oh, I don't think the police would have any problem understanding Spanish.
Nice.
Which I was kind of proud of. And
Well done.
my poor 3-year-old's like, what's happening? I'm like, don't worry, darling. So but then he rides away. And so this happens now, like 5-10 minutes later.
Did you then give him the finger? Did you flip him off?
No, that's all I did. Then I just sat down and chose some choice visual stares at him. But
Great.
I'm like chill because he's not done it again. But now I see him with the 3 or 4 male hoodlums. They're all talking. They're looking at me, looking at me. Whatever. I don't care. And there's lots of people. Like there's lots of adults around. And then they're walking around the splash pad, not on their bikes. They're walking. And I see
Oh, gosh.
Neelis is like watching them, watching me. And he's like clocking on that they're going to come and confront me. Like that's their thing. Like they're annoyed at me. They're coming to
come at me, bro. What are you going to say to me, mate? I'm a mum of 3 and I'm pregnant. What are you going to do?
So Neelis is like, I don't feel quite comfortable with that. So then Neelis intercepts them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, guys, what seems to be the problem? And now they're ticked off because they're just like, she's this, she's that. Like, she's threatened to call the police. And Neelis has no idea I said that. So he's just like,
Jeez, Elisa. Oh, yeah.
So I'm watching Neelis have this like calm interaction with these hoodlums. And I'm thinking to myself, we're not the same, Neelis. We're not the same. I've yelled at them. And he's just like engaging them in this lovely dialogue.
Can I pray for you guys? Can I...
Yeah.
So he told my testimony.
10 minutes and apparently they're just like, she's this, she's called the police and she said she's going to call the police. And he's just like, look, I don't know what she said, but you can't be riding your bikes here. Like there's little kids. She's a mum. She loves her kids. We just want to protect the kids. Like there's so many places for you to ride your bike.
Perfect.
We don't care where you ride it. It's just not through the splash pad. And they're like, well, she said she's going to call the police. And he's like, she's obviously not calling the police, but you can't be riding your bike.
She's obviously a liar.
He's like, I don't know who that lady is, but she looks insane. So then Neelis is having this dialogue with them and eventually they're like, yeah, okay. And they calm down and he deregulates them and they calm down and they walk off and we don't see them again. So then today Neelis and I have this chat about it because I forgot to even follow up with Neelis last night. I've only talked to him about it like 30 minutes ago. And so my question to you before I tell you Neelis's feedback to me is, am I wrong? Was I in the wrong?
Not for a minute were you wrong. You absolutely nailed that interaction. Like I have no qualms with telling off a kid and using whatever threat I need to make for there to be an impact. And honestly, when you said that he said no inglés, for a minute I thought she's going to speak Spanish back. I thought you were going to say the most random words you know back to him, but it wasn't going to make sense. It was going to be like, unos dos. Or like you're going to panic and speak Afrikaans because it's the only other language you know. The fact that you threatened the police, I think is great. And you didn't say, I'm going to call the police. You just said, well, no problem. You know, like it was.
Yeah. And I was watching, like there was a guy walking around with like a vest. And so just during this whole time, I was like, man, is that the police? Because they just do like checks, right? Where they're just like walking around. But then I realized it was the hotel's like, what do you call the car drop off? Oh, you drop off your car.
Valet?
Yeah, it was the hotel's valet people. But that's what gave me the thing about the police. I was like, if they're just here, like I've got no problem going up to the police either, just to be like, hey, there's these kids riding their bikes through the splash pad, like whatever.
Can you have a chat?
Okay. This is my thought. I used to work with kids like this. I know how to actually engage like teenagers like this. I know what's effective. I know what's not effective. I know what I did was not effective in terms of getting them on side, getting them to like comply. I know it's not effective. And yet I find myself not caring because I'm a mum. Like, I'm sorry.
You don't have time. He's riding his bike through the splash pad. What, are you going to go make a deep relationship with him. Have a laugh with him. It's not an appropriate time. There's also a time to yell a threat.
I just think we are not in a therapy session. We are at a splash pad.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, Neelis was like, look, I think there's a different, I was like, do you think I'm wrong? And he's like, I don't think you're wrong, but I think there's a different strategy. Like you could have this. And I was like, what? I meant to follow him and go up to him and be like, hi, darling, look, I know you're just having fun. No, I'm not going to do that because first of all, you're choosing to ride your bike through the splash pad.
You know you're doing the wrong thing.
Exactly. And like, I'm sorry, but your appearance does give the aroma of you're a punk.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you're going to want me to come and have a little chat with you. You're going to call me a Karen. And if they did come and like cuss me out, because Niels was like, they were going to come up to you and like threaten you. And he's like, they weren't going to hurt you, but they were going to like come and, you know, cuss you out, whatever. And I just said to Niels, like, Niels, that honestly would not bother me. In fact, then I probably would change my strategy. Like if they came up and they were like, you're this, I'd be like, guys, you can't be riding through the splash pad. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
I've got babies here. I'm not going to like meet them in their aggression, but I also don't care because I'm a mum, whatever.
1000%. 1000. And honestly, I'm sorry, Neelis, but I work with teenage boys again, randomly. This last week, I've started working with teenage boys again. And there is I believe there sometimes is a different approach with boys than girls, where I don't know if this is like in the research, but when I am a little bit more facetious, like have a like stronger banter, pay them out, put them in their place, there is such quicker compliance. Like I never do that with girls because girls get super offended. They don't want to be embarrassed. But sometimes when you like embarrass a guy in front of his friends, it's more effective, you know?
Yeah.
And especially at that age, like he's done the wrong thing twice. He's heard you yell out, don't do that. He's now come back again. And now he's giving you attitude when you've said the no English thing. You didn't go straight into like, I'm going to call the police straight away. That one I'd be like, okay, Elisa, like tone it down.
Take a breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny
from me.
The whole ordeal happened and there's so many other adults around. They don't no one does anything. No one says anything. And there's so many men around as well. Like, and sorry to have a dig at the men, but there's so many men around where it's like, it probably would be better received from you.
1000%.
But you're not doing anything because why? Like you want to wait for a kid to get hit. Whereas I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can foresee a kid is going to get hit and it's probably not going to be the hoodlum's fault. It's going to be the 3-year-old's fault who's got no idea where they're running and they're just going to run full pelt into that trick.
To that, whatever that wheelie thing is.
Yes. Anyway, all right. No rebuke. Great.
No rebuke. Okay, well, maybe I've got to rebuke me too then.
Okay, great.
Along these lines. Oh my gosh. So I went to a park near my house the other day with my 2 girls. And it was like we were there for a while because I was like, okay, I've got an hour to kill before I start dinner time. So we were there. We were just like meandering about. It was quite lovely. And there's these 2 kids there who are with this mum and this dad. As in like 2 separate families. There's a dad, he's with the older kid, little toddler with the mum. And those 2 parents were just sitting on the bench, either on their phones or chatting to each other. And I was actually quite shocked because I have no qualms with telling off a kid who's around my kid, especially when your parent can see what you're doing. They're not doing anything about it. No worries. I'll keep you in line. I'm not going to be rude about it, but I'm going to say, oh, we don't do that. You know?
Yeah.
For example,
you're now part of my family.
Yeah, if you're going to hang out with me and my kids, this is our vibe. We keep it tight. So all the kids are on this little spinny thing, and like my toddler and my 1-year-old on this spinny thing, and so the other 2 kids have come to join us. They've come to us. Okay. And I was like, okay.
Tell me the rough ages of these kids. Just rough.
One is probably like 3. Running around with a lollipop.
Okay.
So
that's
lollipop
a safety hazard, first of all.
Yes.
It's a hazard.
Bothered me. And the other kid he's probably almost 2. So they're probably like a year older than my kids, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, so first thing, we're on the little spinny thing. First thing that happens, they don't get on. The one little kid starts trying to push this spinny thing really fast, and my baby's on it. Like, she doesn't even know to hang on. She's just kind of like trying to balance. So I'm pushing it really slow. And I was like, oh, we're not going to push it. We're not going to push it. Keeps trying to push it. I take his arm. I'm like, we're not going to push it because there's a baby on. Again, the mum is like, can hear everything I'm saying. Like, she's literally probably 2 meters away from me. And I'm like,
okay.
they've started annoying me already. I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. Like, I'm gonna have to parent these kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they get on the spinny thing, and I'm like, that's fine. Like, I'm like, oh, this is fun, you know. They're just chatting. Then they start doing that spitting thing where they're like spit everywhere. And the one kid has a cough.
Oh,
and I basically stopped the spin thing. I was like, we're not going to spit on this. Sorry, I'm not going to let you do that. No. I was like, we're not going to spit. Otherwise, I'm leaving and I'm going to take my kids, you know, like we'll just get up. So that happens. They do stop. Every warning I give them, they stop. I'm like, it's like they need instructions. Like,
exactly.
It's like they need a parent. Anyways, whatever. What happens next? At some point, my toddler gets sick of the game. She's like not loving it. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So she wants to get off. I'm like, okay, we're done. Toddler runs off. The baby is crawling around. And then the next thing that happens, okay, so now I'm like watching these kids. They're still in the spinny thing. The one kid throws his lollipop stick. Now he's finished his lollipop, throws it into the sand. So I then tell that kid off. I'm like, can you pick that up and put it in the bin, please? Like, I hate getting to the park and there's rubbish around. These parents are literally seeing all of this. And I'm like,
do you make eye contact with them, or they're not looking at you?
They just don't care. They're on their phones, chatting to each other, could not care less about what their kids are doing. The last thing that pushed me over the edge, and this is where I was like, I don't know if I'm now being rude. But the younger kid of that little pair comes up to me. I'm just sitting there with my kids who are like playing on the slide. He like pushes my knee and he like points to the swing and he's like, I want to go on that. What did you say to him? I was like, then you need to ask your parent. I was like, I'm not pushing you on the swing.
I'm not here to play with you. Sorry.
Afterwards, I was like, slow me, shame. Like, his parent doesn't want to play with him. They're literally giving them nothing. They're not even looking at them. I really could push this kid on the swing. Like, maybe this is like a ministry opportunity to be like, this is what it's like to have a mummy.
Let me tell you about the father heart God for you. The father's heart for you. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, look, I think the attitude underneath the swing comment is probably worth a rebuke, but I personally would never, I would never pick up a kid and put them in a swing.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's like a boundary for me of like having to pick up, if I watched an adult pick up my child,
right?
Unless like they'd really fallen, they just needed a parent, like an adult to just quickly help them. But to like pick up a kid and put them in a swing, I have like a hard boundary with that where I'm like, no. And sometimes kids ask me that and I'm like, oh, you have to ask your mum. And if the mum's busy next to me, I'll be like, are you happy for me to put them in the swing?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so it's like, I think that's perfectly okay. I think that's fine. I think the only actual thing that I have a problem with is the lollipop thing.
As in, I shouldn't have told him to pick it up.
It's just being like, could you pick that up? I just think that's so funny because you could have just, well, I would probably say something as well, but I'd say to my daughter, like, yeah, that's right. We don't litter. We don't just throw trash there.
My kids weren't around me. Again, like, my kids don't need me this whole interaction. It's just, my kids were pretty placid, I have to say. It was a good time.
That's good.
And I did think about it. I was like, when he threw the lollipop stick, I was like, oh, slow me, like, just let it go. But then I was like, no, like, honestly, this was more for the parents because you've seen your kid running around with his lollipop stick. Now he doesn't have it anymore. It's now in the sand or where all the kids play. Yeah, it's gross, you know? And like lots of babies pick stuff up and put it in their mouth or whatever. So I was like, oh, can you pick that up, put it in the bin, please? Like,
did he do it?
No.
Oh.
But at least he knows he did the wrong thing.
That's right. And so do his parents, or probably not, because it's just a weird age to neglect your kids, isn't it? Like people do that with 6+. I'm like, go for it. But like 2 and 3, it's like, geez, that's okay. Well, should I tell you another playground dynamic that happened with me?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, well, we're going to change the title of this episode to Playground Weirdness and then something else. But I was we were out for dinner, just our family, and then Nila saw like a friend of his, and so I was like, why don't you just hang out with your friend and I'm going to take the girls to the playground. So I took the girls to the playground. We get to the playground and it's got like 2 playground areas. Like there's like the little kid area that has a swing on it and like a little like climbing up slide, like more for little kids. And then there's a big area that's like ropes and it's a bit more difficult and whatever. That little kid area is sealed off. Like we get to the park and I'm like, oh, bummer girls, it's closed. We can't go in there.
Like it was closed,
like,
okay.
Yeah, it's got like tape, like caution tape. And next to, they've like elevated the ground up and put like nice turf. And then there's like obviously like excavator has come and like dug out lots of the dirt. Digger. So like there's like dirt everywhere and whatever. But for me, like I'm quite justice oriented within reason. Like there's some things I don't care you crossing a boundary, but for that I'm like, no, there's like a caution tape. You can't go in there. And right around the other side, there's maybe like 1 meter or like 2 feet where it's not sealed off. But you can clearly see it's sealed off. Like they don't want you to go in there. Anyway, we walk past there and I'm telling my oldest girl, I'm like, hey, it's closed. I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, she's so sad because that's where she would play. And I'm like, I'm sorry, honey, we can't go in there. And then the closer we get, I see there's a family in there. There's a dad, a mum, and like a 3-year-old in there.
Okay.
And they're playing in there. And I clock them and I'm like, God, what are you doing? Like now you're annoying me because I have to tell my kid to not go in there. Now on principle, I'm annoyed. And they make no move to leave that area. Like if that was me and another family came, I'd be like, oh crap, all right, let's get out of here. Yeah. But they make no move to leave that area. And so then my daughter is like pointing to them and she's like, but they're in there. Why are they in there? And I should have responded in English, but I responded in Afrikaans. And I was like, well, some people choose to do the wrong thing and that's the choice that they're going to make. We're going to make the right choice. We're not going to go in there. But I should have said it in English.
Yeah, nice.
Like just to be a bit pointed. And then we keep playing. They keep playing in there for like 30 minutes or whatever. And then the kid asks to come and play in our area, our big area. And then the mum has the audacity to go, oh, that area is closed. We can't play there.
What?
Like, I think just to like get her kid off her back. Like it wasn't a dig at us. It was just to be like, no, like you're sealed off in here. Like we're not going to go there. And so then my kid's like looking around and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and so now I'm like, no, you're annoying me because I'm doing the right thing and it's an inconvenience to me. I don't want to be in this area.
But this area sucks.
And now you're telling like my kids subconsciously that like we're doing the wrong thing. It was just annoying. It's just annoying.
That is annoying. So honestly, playground, we should do a whole episode on playground dynamics or like public parenting dynamics of obviously you guys do your own thing in your own home. That's fine. But when it impacts you and your kids and your dynamic, I mean, it's always a teaching moment, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's always things to learn and I love that, but it does sometimes get really tricky.
It gets awkward. Yeah.
It gets awkward.
To manage it, especially. Or do we just pivot? We're 25 minutes in. Do we just do playground dynamics?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I've got another story. I mean, I've got plenty.
Me too.
I've been saving them up. But it is awkward when like one, it impacts your kids or whatever. But also just when it's like, oh, this is shifting the whole vibe at the playground. Like not just your kid necessarily. But even if I see someone doing something and it's impacting another kid that's not even my kid, I'm always like, oh, hang on.
For sure. Yeah.
Hang on a second. Like that's weird.
I just think there's a certain age where, now I'm pivoting back to my story, but there's a certain age where if you're at the playground, like you still need to be heavily supervising your kid. Once they're above 5 or something, sure, like, but you should still be watching them. I still don't believe you should just be on your phone. Like it is not, they're not at a childcare, like they're not being supervised. You're there to supervise. And also, if not for what they do, for what other kids do to them, like there is a lot of kids that are really rough. And especially when you're at a playground, like there's things to climb. Kids push each other all the time. Yeah, I can't believe that parents just feel comfortable with not looking at what their kids are doing.
Well, yeah, and there's a very big difference between sitting and like being on your phone, but you're still very engaged. Like when I take just my son to a playground, which doesn't happen often, and I'm on my phone because I have to order groceries or whatever, I'm like looking up every 3 seconds. And if there's a problem, I'm like, hey, you need to problem solve that.
Yeah.
Like I may still not get up versus like when parents are completely disengaged, like you've gone there for a break, which I mean, power to you. Like I hear you need the break.
100%, yeah, I get it.
But being like unavailable where it's like, no, you're not even aware of what's happening or who's doing what or whatever. Then it's just like, oh gosh, it's so hard. Yeah. I think as well, like when you've been around like the playground for a while, which I'm sure every mum is just like used to going to the playground, but you do pick up on a vibe with certain kids where it's like, oh, this could swing either way. Like this kid could just be like super energetic or like you could borderline on being like a little aggressive and like you just have to be aware of that. And sometimes it's just a sibling thing. Like some of these kids just have older siblings.
For sure.
that are just like used to being super rough or whatever, or like maybe there's like a bit of an aggressive tendency, or you know, you don't know what kind of home people grow up in or whatever. And that's like difficult to manage, because then I find myself being even more attentive in a way that I'm not usually.
1000%.
Yeah.
And I feel like my mind is like quite geared to be negative about other children, which is probably not good, but I've heard too many stories about kids hurting kids, or even like the like body safety stuff. It's kids do things to each other, not understanding what they're doing, like whether it's being rough or being sexual or saying something inappropriate. They do that. And so at the minute there is a kid interacting with my children who I don't know your parents, I don't know your upbringing, I don't know what you've been exposed to. Like I'm so onto them, especially at a playground where there's like little areas to hide and things can happen so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for speaking Afrikaans in those moments. Like often a kid will come up to like, yes, it literally happened last night where 3 siblings came up to my daughter, and we're trying to work on my daughter being a bit more confident to go play with other kids. So often I'll be yelling at her, it's okay, just say hello, say, you know, my name is this, can I play with you? Like all these things. And so we're sort of working on that. But there has been occasions where there has been a child who's just a little bit rougher, and I'll just be able to remind her quickly, like, remember, if you don't feel good, you can walk away, turn your body away. Or like if she's playing with a toy that might be taken from her, I can say in Afrikaans, that's your toy, you're playing with it, don't let him take it, like things like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I think those moments, even though it's not nice to see, I think it, especially when, I think it's good for them to be exposed to it. It's a learning opportunity. You know, you have a little chat on the way home. Some things, I don't want her to be exposed for the first time if she starts going to school. I want her to see, oh, some kids are a bit rough. Sometimes you have to hold your own. Sometimes you just have to let it go and walk away.
Yeah.
All those sorts of things.
And sometimes you have to like it's just about reading. Like it's like a social skill development thing already, where it's like, hey, just be used to, I don't know, reading the room or whatever. I think I guess your daughter's a little bit younger. Maybe this has happened more for me in the last like year or two with my son. But at playgrounds, I am aware of other kids a lot. I'm probably more aware of my own kids. Like I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's like that's happening over there. Not in like a sinister
way. What are you
way,
doing to him? Who are you bullying?
Well, this happened recently. We were at a like a little play area, and I had taken like a bunch of toys with us. Well, I have them in the car, like just like if we're I don't know, there's rocks where we are or sand or whatever. So I had them in the car and I took them out, and there were like a bunch of kids. And so I told this one boy who was like, he looked like a sweet boy. I was like, hey, you're welcome to play with those, because he was kind of lurking. And I was like, do you want to play with these? You're welcome to play with these. And he was like, yes, thank you. And so he was playing with it, whatever. And then like maybe like 30 minutes later, I'm seeing that boy's crying.
No.
And I'm like, why are you crying? And then I see like my son with his little mate that are kind of like standing off to one side or whatever. And so like I go up there, but I can see they're kind of clocking each other. So I go up there and I'm like, hey, what's happening over here? And my son, again in Afrikaans, is like, well, our friend doesn't want to share our toys with him.
Oh.
And so then I'm just like, I will now come down on you like fire because I care more about you doing the right thing than a kid being mean to you. Like I can skill you up with managing a bully if you're going to do the wrong thing. And so then, I mean, no one is doing the wrong thing. They're just being protective over their stuff. And so then I'm saying to my son, I was like, well, hey, whose stuff is this? And he's like, it's ours. And I'm like, no, it's mine. This is my stuff. And I'm letting you borrow it. And I've told that boy he can play with it. If you're not ready to share with him, you're welcome to go pick some leaves or find some sticks or get something else to play with. But he's welcome to play with this. And then I like yell at the boy. I'm like, what's your name? And I don't know, like Henry. I'm like, all right, Henry's a friend. We're going to be a friend to Henry. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, like you can't be the turd at the playground because you don't have it in you to share toys or whatever. Like no chance. Like that's another dynamic that I'm like, man, you are responsible for like.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. And like that was also a good opportunity for your son to learn to stand up to his friend for what's right.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, which he only practiced because you came over and saw what was happening. Otherwise he's left the park going, oh, okay, like he said no, so it's a no. Whereas now you've taught him, you stand up for the right thing.
Which is
what a good teaching moment.
Yeah, like piggybacking off our last episode. It's like teaching my son to navigate group dynamics. All of a sudden, you have to navigate group friendship because you've got these two friends. They want different things. What's your plan here? Because you get to be a leader, or you get to bail from both of them and be like, whatever, I'm going to go do my own thing. If you guys can't work this out,
Yeah.
Just
you guys. Work it out. These are my mum's toys.
The amount of times I asked my kids, I'm like, they were going into my husband's drawer this week. He's got like a drawer under his coffee machine. It's his drawer. It's his drawer. They know it's his drawer. And they took out all of these little tiny like beads from the drawer, whatever. And they're carrying on everywhere with it. And so then I made them come sit in the kitchen. And I was like, whose drawer is this? And they're like, Papa's. And I'm like, no, it's Jesus's drawer. Everything in this house belongs to the Lord. He entrusted it to your dad. Then it's your dad's. Then it's mine. It's not yours. You are the last on the pecking order. Like, where's your drawer? That's your drawer. Go get your silicon things, Oh, gosh.
It's so funny. Oh, okay. The amount of times that they've gone into just nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred in the home. No. Everything is everywhere, but especially Ruan's drawer. Our daughter has always been, because Ruan's got more like like trinkets, knickknacks. Like mine is just stuffed with like books and papers and whatever. Ruan's got such weird stuff in there. Like there's literally like a massive butterfly in a frame, like a framed butterfly, stuff like that. And like the other day, she literally took everything out and broke the drawer. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
I saw this girl on TikTok the other day. She said our kids are no longer allowed in our bedrooms. Like that's just a rule they have. And I was like, there's going to be an age where we can enforce that rule, and I'm excited for it.
We've done it now. We've done it.
Great.
It's just annoying. Like I've got stuff in there as well that like not just breakable, but like it could hurt you. Like, and so now like constantly I'm like out my bedroom. Like this is just the one spot. Like just get out of here. This is a safe zone.
Especially the bathroom that's attached to it. Like oh gosh, the amount of I found my daughter with a condom one time.
My baby's walked around with a bottle of lube and I'm like, oh, please. And then I've watched her go like this, like put on her hair. I'm like, it's not gel.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh. Is it too much of a confession? Whatever. These are our confessions. Okay. How do you manage if another parent is speaking to your kids at a playground or a public space in a rude, aggressive way? I do have a story for this, obviously. Like, what's your response to that? Or has that happened to you? Probably not. Your daughter's such a delight.
Hasn't happened to me, but I think my question would be, what's happened? I would probably, I'm probably more inclined to be on the parents' side, to be honest.
Sure,
to be like, what's happening? Because I love, I would love for someone else to tell off my child. I think sometimes that's really effective. So it depends on the context. Like, I'd probably just ask the parent, like, oh, like, what's happened, I mean, if they're speaking really rudely, I would not appreciate that. I'd probably say, oh, please don't call her that name or whatever.
Please stop screaming at her.
But, I've no problem with people telling my kids off.
That's funny. We're very similar because even at that play where they were having trouble sharing, like the mum was there and I was like, your son's welcome to play with our toys. And she was like, oh, thanks. Like he's fine. He's just a bit sensitive. And I was like, also feel free to tell off that kid with the blonde hair. Like I have no qualms about you telling off my child. And I really do mean it, like in like a kind, directive way, but just like redirecting or whatever. I really don't. But I know a lot of people really get bothered by that.
Do they?
Like they don't want other parents to tell off their kid.
Okay.
Well,
then you need to be one of those parents that's on your kids.
Exactly. Or you need to be around.
Totally fun. Be around your kids then.
So that I don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll never do it for no reason. Like, if I ever see something, I'm always looking up first to be like, if I see a parent walking over, I'm obviously not going to pounce on that kid.
Sure,
But if I'm looking up, parents on phones, no one's coming over, then I am going to do it. Because I think it's also important for our kids to see that there is, like, I'm going to protect you in that way. I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
Like, this is the wrong thing and that's going to be addressed. So if you ever do the wrong thing, that's going to be addressed.
Yeah, and you can also say, hey, that's the wrong thing when someone does something that's not right to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh, it's so much, isn't it? Like trying to like, I mean, a lot of it is subconscious. Like I'm not going into these moments going, how can I skill up my kid? But it's like a subconscious thing. It just kind of happens. That's why I
Yeah.
was so tired. Jeez.
I know.
So
But
I was at a playground a few weeks ago with I don't think she'd mind me telling the story. Oh, whatever. I was at a playground with Belen, and I honestly, like, this is one of the moments I looked at her and I'm like, you are who you are, and I love who you are, and like, this doesn't surprise. It just impresses me. This doesn't surprise me in the least. But we were pushing our girls on the swing, and then there's like a high climbing up area or whatever, and 2 slides. I get that kids are meant to go down the slides. They run up the slides, like whatever. Like that just is what it is. But we're like standing there pushing, and I like another friend comes up to me to say hello. But I'm like watching Belen, and Belen and I are watching what something's happening at the slide area. And so we're just like and I have to say, like, one thing that Belen and I, sometimes we don't have the best times at playgrounds because we're so alert to our kids. Like, we're very much those people that are like, we are aware of our surroundings. If someone's
Yes.
looking at my kid, I know about it. Like, we're just, that's how we are. So we both like clock something's happening even while this girlfriend is talking to us and we're pushing. And so then I see Belen like walking over. And so there's this older woman who is obviously taking her grandchild, maybe her child, but her grandchild to the playground. And she must be in her 60s.
Okay.
And she all of a sudden starts yelling at one of Belen's kids.
Oh, okay.
Where the kids are like running up the slides or whatever, and Belen's kid is standing at the top of the slide, just standing there, like, no, he's doing nothing wrong. And her kids are delightful. So they're like very aware of their environment. Like, they're not going to do the wrong thing on purpose, but he's just standing at the front. And so her grandchild is trying to run up the slide. Mind you, there's 2 slides. She's trying to run up one. And so instead of just saying like, oh, hey buddy, would you mind moving so that she can run up the slides? She yells at this boy,
goodness.
at Belen's son. And she's like, what are you doing? Get out of the way. You're just a bully. Like, she yelled at him, yelled. Like, everyone was like, oh. And so then Belen's already there though, because she's already clocked something's happening. Yeah. So she's already there. And she's just like, excuse me. And she's like, you don't speak to him like that. What did she say? I can't remember exactly, but it was something like, excuse me, like, you don't speak to him like that. Like, the only one who's being a bully at this playground is you. Like, she did such a good job. So I literally am pushing both of our girls and I'm like, no, she's got it. She's fine. And so this grandma's just like, rah, 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 you know. And so then like, it was actually really sad because then obviously her son is like really upset.
Of course, yeah.
Because kids aren't used to being, when you don't grow up like that, you're not used to being spoken to like that. You're also not used to being called something.
Yeah,
like,
a name calling, that's crazy.
I would never call my kid a name, but she's like, you're just a bully. So then he's like quite upset and he's come to sit with us and whatever, we've helped, you know, she's done a great job like mothering him and helping him through it, whatever. But we're just like, what on earth? And then mind you, she comes and walks across whatever the playground, and on her shirt, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to make you prosper. And I'm like, you are the worst lady at this playground. Like, isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, that is wild.
Doesn't apologize, just like stays like pretty like, but she's like following her kid around everywhere. And so then when I think Belen had already left and then we were leaving, and I had some friends at the playground, and I just told them, I just said, hey, I would just be watchful of that lady. Like, she was just like pretty rude to one of our kids. Just be aware when they're around her or whatever. But isn't that like the audacity to do that is just like, it's that crazy. And wild. Even I said to Belen, even if your kid was doing the wrong thing, let's say he was being a turd, you know, which he wasn't. He was just standing. There was room for the girl to get up and there was another slide for her to run up. But let's say he was doing the wrong thing. Even then, like, you could say so many other things. Like, well, I would say to my kid, let's say he was being a turd, is like, hey, looks like that boy's making a choice to stand in the way and he's trying to prevent you from having fun. So let's go have fun somewhere else. He doesn't look nice to play with. That's what I would say.
Sure. And I'd say it so the kid can hear.
Yeah.
He's stopping the fun. We'll go find fun somewhere else.
Yeah.
But first, you would say, "Hey, could you hop out the way so my child can go?" Normally, if you just ask a kid, they move.
They also sometimes just don't know. Like, and also like this. So this boy is literally, 3.5, 4. Like, he's not a 6-7-year-old who's like trying to be a certain way. It's like he's a toddler, dude. Like,
yeah,
he's a baby. What are you talking about? You're just a bully.
That is crazy. If someone yelled that at my child, like I'm thinking about my toddler, I would lose it, I think.
I know.
But I think Belen's reactions was really good.
I think she actually did a really good job of not losing it. Like, I don't know how she wasn't more angry.
Yeah.
Like, she was pointed and direct, but But then I guess you have to watch yourself because your kid is watching you.
Yes, 100%.
You know?
So you don't want to now overreact because now you're just as bad. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so
that's right.
hard.
You just pull out a knife.
Yeah. Punch her in the
Oh
face.
gosh. Yeah,
Oh,
that's probably the
mate.
worst thing I've seen. Where I'm just like, oh my goodness, we have to
I
leave.
find it really hard when you see parents just not being nice to their own kids in public.
Yeah, that is sad.
I find that really, really sad, you know?
It's not just like seeing a mum just be at her end and her kids are just like,
No.
that never bothers me. Like, I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
Like, yeah, we're all
just
there.
get to nap time. Just
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
nap time.
And normally sometimes you've gone to the park because you're like, we need to get outside. Like, we all need some fresh air.
Exactly.
You know? So sometimes you get there and you're just like so spent.
Yeah.
But I think, I remember having a conversation with my toddler at one point being like, you know, because I never know what she's picking up on, but it always surprises me how much she is clocking things. And sometimes she doesn't say anything to me about it. So I remember saying to her, like, yeah, like, you know, that mum wasn't speaking nicely to her child. That's not nice. Like sometimes, you know, that's why we just got to be really nice to people on the playground. You know, some people's home lives aren't, you know, things like that. Because again, it's same thing. Like she's not seeing that sort of like language. And I find it really hard. There's a lot of swearing at the playground in Australia.
Man, that we picked up on that so you would just never hear that here. Or you'd hear it from like kids, maybe like a teenager or whatever. But in Australia, it's not at all playgrounds, just like sometimes, certain times of the day, whatever. But there was that one time where we were with you guys, I think. And that mum was like, come on, you've got to come along now, come along. And then under her breath, but loud enough for all of us to hear it, she was like, oh, F me. Like,
yeah.
I was just like, first of all, like, I hear you. Like, it's pretty annoying. But it's just like, to actually say the swear word is just like so different to what I'm used to.
Yeah, I think it's quite common in Australia. Especially if it's a busy park. Yeah, it is interesting. But luckily our kids aren't at the age yet where they're going to copy everything they hear. But at some point they're going to realize, oh, that's a word to express an emotion. So now I say that.
Or they're going to like test it out.
Marissa's daughter came up to her the other day, and she was like, I can't remember the exact sentence, but say she was like, oh, the dinner wasn't yummy. The dinner was effing yummy. She like said that to Marissa, and Marissa was literally like she was so stunned. She didn't know what to say because her cousin has now started going to school where there's lots of swearing.
Of course. And her cousin's older. Like,
well, only a year older. Like he's still in prep.
Oh,
you know?
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's young.
Yeah, that's young. But again, like you don't know if they're going to school. There's like 28 kids from different homes. It takes one kid from a home of swearing where it's normal to come in and teach all those kids that word.
Yeah, and it's just one kid, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen even here. Like my girlfriend this week told me her son came home, and he's young as well, and he came home and they were doing something, and he's like, "Oh, that's gay," and she was like that was a normal phrase for us. Like when I was at school, that was really normal. We got told off in our.
Still says that.
Right, that says more about him than about our family, all right? But we always got told off for that at home or at church or whatever. But I don't even know if you'd get told off at that stage at school for saying that.
No, I don't think so. I remember the first time I got told off was in year 9, and that teacher was a bit more like wokey.
Sure.
I remember she just questioned me. She was like, "What do you mean by that, Scout?" I was like, "Oh, I just mean it's not good." And she's like, "But why are you using the word gay?" And I was like,
"Right."
Oh, I didn't even know. But I was in year 9.
Yeah, we didn't even know. Like we were so uneducated. Yeah. Now I think it's like obviously very frowned upon. So he came home and he's like, "Oh, that's gay," and she was like, I think she's a very good like teacher of her children. So she was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just not good, like whatever." And she was like, "Where'd you hear that?" And he was like, "Oh, whatever, Timmy said it." And she was like, "What did you think was going to happen when you said this at home?" And he was like, "Well, obviously, you know, I was just testing it out on you. I obviously didn't think it would go well." And she was like, "Well, yeah, don't say it again." Like she just shut it down. But I was like, "Oh my gosh, our kids are going to say stuff like that." And it's going to be hard, honestly, for me to not laugh because it's pretty hysterical.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do you watch any Hamish and Andy?
No, like I used to listen. I don't watch it, but I used to listen to some. Like if I was doing like a DIY, something like painting or whatever.
I saw a recent thing where they've let their kids graduate to certain swear words at a certain age.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sonny, the eldest, can now use the S word. Like he's allowed to. And their youngest, I don't know how young she is, but like fully talking, she's allowed to use the P word, pissed off or whatever. It's just so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like different families will have such different rules and everything when it comes to swearing. Like we were never allowed to swear in our home. Like that was the other day I said the P word in front of Mum. I'm 30 years old and she was horrified. She put me in my place. I was like, Mum, I'm an adult now. But I was like, fair enough. This is your home.
Yeah. This is a dirty word. I'm so sorry. Yeah. It's hard to explain as well to Americans that it's just so cultural in Australia. Like bloody hell, it's not even a question of if that's a swear word or not. It's like that's just part of your dialogue. It's not even
a swear word in America.
I don't think I think a pastor could say that in Australia in a sermon. I'm thinking of like Sam Wright. I think he could say that in a sermon if he was like for like expression, just being like, guys, like bloody hell, like you can't just be walking around doing, and it would be like pretty normal. Here, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You'd be walked out of the building.
Oh gosh.
I don't think you could. No way.
People would lay hands on you and pray.
But it's so not cultural here to swear. So it's also just like it's just such a different
it is so swearing is such a big part of the culture, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And it's not always aggressive. And like honestly, I really do enjoy a well-placed Effie and a well-placed F word. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think it's hilarious. Like the amount of times I'm telling you a story and I'm like, oh, a swear word would make this better. And I think, Eliza, you're being sanctified. None of that. But I think in my head, it would be funny though.
The flesh wants to. The flesh wants to.
Oh, I've got to fight the flesh.
The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Have your kids started copying anything that you say that's made you go, ooh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, is
it? And maybe not us, but also the Omas. Like the other day, our toddler went, nada.
Oh, all right.
And I was like, we laughed, like, oh, what else did she say? Yes, it doch. Like stuff like that. But she's like
cute.
in a little pickle. It's so cute.
Yeah, that's cute. But
we haven't had bad yet.
We haven't had, well, we don't swear, but sometimes my son will go, oh, flap.
Oh, yeah, we've had that. Yeah,
Not about that one.
Yeah.
And then he's come home this week. He had a camp this week where he came home and he was like, oh, he's been switching more to English, which is crazy to me because then he has an American accent, obviously, when he speaks English.
Weird.
I know. So he came home and he was like telling me about the camp he was at. And he was like, yeah, but I hate that. And I was like, what? He was like, I hate that. And I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, I don't really know. And I was like, okay, well, and then I just heard Mum. I was like, well, hate is a bad word.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say hate. You should say, I don't like, or I really don't like, I strongly don't like. And then I was like, Lisa, calm down.
You are so our mum.
You don't
call him an idiot. You call him a challenge.
He's not obese. He's healthy.
One mum needs a rebuke because that is more offensive. If we see someone obese, we go, oh, look how healthy he is.
That's what's going to get us in trouble for sure. Oh gosh.
That's so funny.
That's so funny. Okay, well,
sometimes like the biggest rebuke that our toddler gives us is if we get really angry and it's like, say we've really told her off, we've lost our temper or whatever. Then later on, if we're trying to repair, Mum got angry and this is why, let me explain. Then she'll imitate us. She'll be like, Mama did this. she'll make our face and like speak to us how we spoke to her. And I'm like, oh gosh.
I think the best for us is now we hear our two older kids tell off our youngest kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell them off how we tell them off. So sometimes I'll hear like my daughter say to my son, like, and it's like when it's a dig at me, I'm like, dang, she's like, well, no, you're making a bad choice. You want to scream like an animal, you have to go outside on the deck. I'm like, you're not wrong.
It doesn't sound good when you say it.
Yeah, but it's not kind. But you're not wrong. So then they'll tell each other like, all right, you have to pick up 10 things. That's your consequence. And then I have to come in to be like, no. You don't get to give each other consequences. Like
that's not your job.
But they'll do it.
I like that consequence. Could I start that with my toddler, picking up things?
We'll just start with like 3.
Yeah, cool.
Like pick
Yeah, I
up
like
3
that.
things.
Okay, nice.
Make sure it's never magnetiles. That gets me when I'm like, pick up 10 things and they go get 10 magnetiles. I'm like, no, that's one thing. It's stuck together.
To them all now. It's one. If they're separate, that's 10. Oh gosh,
Joke's on you, toddler.
Parenting is like it's such a humbling experience. Like I saw this video, I didn't agree with it, but it was this mum explaining why she's one and done.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really honest in it. And she said, look, like this might not make me sound good, might not make me sound like a beautiful woman, but these are just the things that I struggled with when becoming a mum. She was talking about like her time never being her own, her body never being her own. Always mentally thinking about the kids. Like you don't think about yourself anymore. You think about the kids, all these things. And she was like, it wasn't for me. I don't enjoy it. She's like, I love my daughter. I love being her mum, but being a mum is not
Sure.
my vibe, you know?
Right.
And I was seeing that and I was like, my goodness, it is sacrificial.
Oh my gosh. If I wasn't a believer, I think to myself sometimes, if I wasn't a believer, would I? No, I still would. But I can see how if you're not a believer, why it's
1000%.
why you would even choose to just not have kids.
Yep. Like I was listening to her video being like, man, if I was a non-Christian and like not wanting kids, I probably would listen to all that going, yeah, I don't want to be a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound good on paper, especially these years where it's like, yeah, you're not having, like, I watched a video this week as well of a lady that said she's got 4 kids and her youngest is 6. So like 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever. And for the last few months, she's been hanging out with a lot of parents whose oldest kid is 6 and then the rest are younger. So it's like, but their youngest is usually like 1.5, 2. Okay. And she was just like, oh, all I have to say is I am like, she was just like, I survived that. And now I look at these parents and she's like, the way I define it is just like the years of not sitting down. You do not sit down because your kid could be like putting their tongue in an electrical socket. Like you are just constantly,
oh my gosh, yes,
tidying, moving. Like you can't sit. You're just constantly in this like weird vortex. And it's so true. Like these years, I can understand why a lot of people would decide it's just not for them. You know, especially you're not getting a lot of the reward. You are in terms of like the emotional feedback and the attachment, but it's not like, oh, you're seeing your kid really make it into something or whatever.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, we're having we had a date night last night. We started our weekly date nights. It was so nice. We played bananagrams. Anyway, we were chatting about our toddler because it was a bit of a rough night for my husband. He put it to bed. I had to quickly duck to the shops. It came back and he was like pulling his hair out. It was a tough one. Anyways, and he was just talking about, you know, she's at a bit of a challenging age sometimes. And I was like, I'm sorry, Ron, but parenting is going to be challenging at every age. Like sometimes I think like, oh, it's the toddler years. But I have been a teacher. I've worked in the primary years. I've worked in the high school years. There is frustrating, difficult things at every age. Yeah. Like now that I'm working in a high school again, some of these kids, I'm like, oh, mate, you're so frustrating. Yeah. You're really rude or you're really lazy or you give me attitude, the eye rolls. Like those things are going to grate as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said to him, I was like, I saw a video about this as well, but I shared with him and it's so true. It's not our kids' responsibility to not put us, how do I say it? I'm responsible for my patience. It's not, my toddler isn't responsible for my patience.
Sure.
It's not her job to never put me in positions where I have to be patient. Like my patience is on me, you know. She's being a toddler, that's on her. It's not her fault that I'm losing my temper, I'm really struggling, I'm frustrated. That is my emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if we don't get that under wraps now, I think we're going to have a hard time parenting. Like of course we're going to get frustrated and we're going to discipline and all those things, but there's a fine line between that and then being like overcome by and blaming that for how we're coping.
Especially when your kid's at an age where like, hey, you kind of could start blaming them. Like our kids are little that they're little enough that they do annoying things or things that are like tiresome that you just go, oh, they're a toddler. Yeah. They literally do not have the capacity. But when our kids are 16, it's like, you don't have that excuse anymore. It's like,
so true.
So like you could be really sarcastic or condescending to them because it's like, you're making your own choice, mate. Even though like you're the one that's helped like scaffold what they look like as a teenager. But then it's like keeping you up at night for a different reason. Like, oh gosh, like at the moment it's like physically demanding, but there's going to come a time where it's like mentally demanding. So we'll be like, oh my goodness.
And you have
Are
to
you
let
gonna
them
make it?
go. And they've got their license and you don't like that one mate they're hanging out with. You don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
It's
Anyway,
scary.
on that
Yeah.
note, see you guys.
See ya. Good luck. All the best.
Oh, mate.
Well, guys, if you've got a playground story or a story of just like something happened to you at a playground, you can anonymously write in.
Yes.
Or just write it with your name and their name if you want, and we'll throw some shade on here. Like, we love these stories. Everybody loves these stories. So if you've got a story of something crazy happening at a playground, please, would you let us know? You can DM us or whatever. Text us if you've got our numbers.
Note. Yes.
Voice note, anything. We'd love to hear it. And then you can give us permission or not if we share it on the pod. But we'd love your stories. We'd love for you guys to like, subscribe, follow us wherever we are, share it with a friend. It's been fun hanging out with you. Bye.
Bye.